welcome to Countdown to the Starting Line. We are just hours from the start of the TCS New York City Marathon, the largest marathon in the world. I'm Liz Cho.
And I'm David Navarro. And we are here at the Javits Center where runners are picking up their race packets right now. They're getting their bibs and getting ready to hit the most incredible marathon course in the world. 26.2 miles through the streets of our beautiful city.
Yeah, and the buzz, well, it is certainly in the air here. So many people thrilled to be back and actually running the official marathon after COVID shut things down last year.
Yes, and the finishers are going to get their hands, Liz, on this very shiny, beautiful, and satisfying object.
Look at that, and it is really heavy too. This is the official medal celebrating the 50th running of the marathon this year. It is bright, it is shiny gold, and it is gold for the 50th.
You know, and the marathon festivities officially kicked off yesterday at the Run with Champions, where children had a chance to run with some of the biggest legends in marathon history.
And the celebration continued at the opening ceremony. Plus, there was an official welcome back to the runners of the very first New York City Marathon back in 1970. They're back this year to celebrate the 50th running of the race.
Now, this is a race thousands of the world's elite runners have waited 2 years to take on. And ABC 7's Ryan Field joins us with a preview of who to look out for this year.
Thank you so much, Dave and Liz. We are here with the Director of Professional Athletes for the New York Road Runners, Mr. Sam Grotwald. Sam joining us now, and so much hype coming into this race for so many reasons, especially when you're talking about the pro field. Who are the favorites and who could surprise us come Sunday?
Well, there's a couple of stories that I think we should be looking out for on Sunday. The first thing that we like to do with the race is put together a group of athletes that reflects the diversity of New York City itself. We have athletes representing 24 countries and territories. That's the most diverse race you'll find in the world this year outside of the Olympic Games and Paralympic Games.
All eyes are on Kenenisa Bekele, considered the greatest long-distance runner ever, has cross-country experience. How valuable can that be here come Sunday?
I always think that the New York City Marathon course is great for a cross-country runner. It's got a lot of turns, a lot of hills. The footing is a little bit uneven. I think this course is really well suited for him.
What about the 2018 NYC half champion, Ben True? Could he make some noise in this race?
We love a marathon debut in New York. Ben is the American record holder at 5K. He's one of the fastest Americans ever at 5,000 meters, but he's never run a marathon. What can this guy do in the marathon? I don't know, but I can't wait to find out.
Another person making their marathon debut, Kipawat Kanye. What can we expect come Sunday?
He's the world record holder in the half marathon. He's got a silver medal from the World Half Marathon Championships. It's his first marathon. We don't know what's going to happen, but in this 50th year where we have a $50,000 bonus on the event record, he's one guy that I expect might go after that.
Kenya's Perez Jepchirchir could be the first person ever to win a gold medal and a marathon in the same year. Can she do it?
I think she can. We haven't made it easy for her. There's a lot of really strong women in the field, but she showed at the Olympic Games that she's one of the very best in the world.
Molly Seidel, always a fan favorite, going to have her work cut out for her here on Sunday. How do you think she's going to fare in this field?
You know, I got to say Molly surprised us at the Olympic Games by winning that bronze medal, and she might have another surprise in store for her here in New York.
Obviously, this is going to be a fantastic race. So much hype, so many people looking forward to the 50th running, especially after taking last year off. That being said, all the competitors, we know they are hungry for a win, and that's especially true on the wheelchair side of things.
Yeah, we have both of our defending champions on the wheelchair side, Daniel Romanchuk from the United States, Manuela Schar from Switzerland, Tatiana McFadden, perhaps the most decorated athlete in the entire race, open division or wheelchair division. And we have 5 of the 6 medalists from the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, including Paralympic champion Madison De Rosario from Australia. And coming out of the last year and a half, everything's such a celebration. I think it's really important that it's a global celebration of running and being fit and this race.
Sam, it's going to be a lot of fun. We can't wait to bring it to you. We will see you bright and early from the start line at the Verrazano Bridge at 7 a.m. Dave and Liz, back to you.
Ryan, thank you so much. Well, there is so much excitement here at the Javits Center. We have a great view of all of the runners heading in to get their numbers. So hyped to take part in this race, especially after the break last year.
And now we're here with New York Road Runners race director Ted Metellus. And Ted, so good to have you here. I know, it was a difficult time last year, but now you are the face of the comeback. Tell me, how does it feel for you and for New York to have this race back?
You know, for so many people, it's going to be one of the greatest reunions. It's kind of like not seeing a family member or a friend or a colleague for a really long time. That energy that you feel, seeing them, embracing them, reconnecting with them, that's what it's going to be like on November 7th. People coming together, the energy being alive, the city coming alive. It's going to be amazing.
It is really such an emotional weekend. And on top of that and this great reunion, it's also the 50th as well.
Yes, yes. And with that reunion, it's like an alumni party. 50 years of legacy, 50 years of running, cheering, volunteering. It's all coming alive.
Yeah, there's a lot of history in this story, but there's some personal history too. You're the first black road race director here in New York. In fact, I think in the world, right? What does that mean to you, and what do you think it says about racing in general?
You know, it's a tremendous accomplishment on so many levels. Coming from the Bronx, parents from Haiti, I'm shining a light. You know, I'm setting that next path just like those before me. So I don't take it lightly, but I got this job here and I'm going to do it well.
Well, congratulations for this weekend. What a huge accomplishment this is. So wonderful for the city, and it's so great to have this tradition back. Ted, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Such a pleasure. Good to have you, and good luck with the race.
Yes,
Thank you.
Most
exactly.
important thing then. And the party just getting started here at the Javits Center. When we come back, you're going to meet one of the first finishers of the New York City Marathon. He ran the very first race, and get this, he's now back to run the 50th.
Yeah. Plus, the cool new way you can track your favorite runners on race day.
I feel fantastic. I love New York City. It's my favorite marathon. It's the hardest, but the most energetic.
The first marathon for all of us. Been waiting for this for a long time because we were supposed to do it last year.
You're never too old to do anything. I ran my first marathon when I was 50. I can't believe I'm doing it at this age.
As you can see by those stats, this is a massive effort. We certainly have come a long way from the very first running of the marathon back in 1970, when runners didn't even leave Central Park and barely had any spectators cheering them on.
Yeah, and tomorrow, runners from all over the world will take part in the 26.2-mile journey through all 5 New York City boroughs, cheered on by thousands of people. ABC 7 meteorologist Brittany Bell takes us through the course.
That's right, Liz and Dave. And for some people, it's the journey of a lifetime. And it all starts on Staten Island. The first mile takes runners over the majestic Verrazano Narrows Bridge, the steepest incline in the whole race. The course then winds its way through Brooklyn, mostly along 4th and Bedford Avenues. The Pulaski Skyway marks the halfway point at 13.1 miles. And here, the racers enter Queens. 2.5 miles later, it's the Queensboro Bridge crossing the East River and into Manhattan for the first time. When runners hit First Avenue in Manhattan, they get a big boost of energy from the crowds as they head north to the Bronx. In the Bronx, we find the infamous 20-mile mark, also known as where the runners hit the wall, and energy really starts to lag. Then they power back into Manhattan, heading south through Harlem and into Central Park with the finish line in their sights. Finally, runners reach their ultimate goal in Central Park. But there are some tough hills they have to get over before they reach the finish line.
It is an incredible tour of the city and such a great time along the course, whether you're running or watching from the sidelines.
Yeah, and someone who will be able to tell us just how much things have changed since the first race in Central Park is a man who ran it back in 1970 and is now back to run the marathon for the first time in 50 years.
Wow.
The first marathon, I was 16, and I was training for the upcoming high school cross-country season. And, I always kind of prided myself as being like a real physically fit person. It's so funny looking at my training log to see all the interval training I was doing, to train for cross-country, not for the marathon.
However unconventional his training, it helped an inexperienced Larry Trachtenberg finish the first ever New York City Marathon in 1970. A lot has changed since then.
It's like now this big spectacle. Back then it was really kind of a quiet thing, just a few oddball runners.
Larry is the only runner from the first New York City Marathon who's also back to compete in this year's 50th running. He says he's most looking forward to running through his old neighborhood.
So the big excitement for me, is going through Long Island City. The Ravenswood Housing Project where I grew up, where I went to school, PS 111, PS 112, Junior High School 204, Long Island City High School.
Trachtenberg would leave Queens and go on to run at Princeton, where he met a teammate with something special in common.
We didn't know each other at the time, but my friend Jim Eisenberg, we both ran in the first one.
The duo became fast friends and training partners.
Then we started running together. We were part of a group. Jim and I started thinking, wouldn't that be cool to run one together? And you know, and maybe like do the 50th.
Year after year, their plan to run the New York City Marathon came more into focus.
You know, about 4 years ago, he was in this, you know, horrific accident on a beach in Australia. You know, somehow a wave came that he didn't see, and now he's quadriplegic.
And while the dream to run together may not come true, Jim has still been an important part of Larry's training.
And he's been able to give me advice, you know, because he's run, you know, well over 100 marathons.
And he'll be there tomorrow, just like they planned.
It gives me more of a reason to run it, because there's like hundreds of reasons not to run it. You know, I'll be thinking of people like Jim, my reasons for not running, it seemed like nothing.
For Larry Trachtenberg, it'll be easy to find that extra bit of motivation to finish the race.
My roots are here. Well, I'm just excited about going through all the neighborhoods and all the sites and all the cheering. And then, you know, people that I know. My 2 sons will be here. My older brother will be here. It's a big celebration now. I'm really hoping to feed off the crowds.
What an inspiration.
Just absolutely incredible. And talk about inspiration. When we come back, we'll meet a man who's running his first marathon ever at the age of 70. And welcome back to Countdown to the Starting Line. I'm Liz Cho.
I'm David Navarro.
And we are at the Jacob Javits Center, and behind us are all of the runners who are here to pick up everything that they need to run this year's TCS New York City Marathon.
And out there tomorrow will be a lot of people running their very first marathon. Among them, one with a very special story. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson introduces us to a 70-year-old Brooklyn native who is an inspiration to all of us.
From high school and college, you know, I ran, and I wasn't fast, but I had endurance.
But 50 years and thousands of miles of experience aren't enough to shake the jitters for 70-year-old New York City Marathon rookie Leroy Cummins.
I'm nervous. My daughter's concerned that I might go out too fast, so I have to kind of hold back at the beginning, don't let the excitement, you know, bring me to an abrupt finish.
The Brooklyn runner started pounding the pavement here well before the New York City Marathon got started and says it wasn't always the cool thing to do.
Back in the late 60s, going into the 70s, long distance really wasn't that very popular at all. They would blow the horn to say, why are you running in the streets of New York? You know, what are you doing?
Fast forward to decades later when it would be strange not to see runners on city streets. Leroy became determined more than ever to finally take on the marathon.
I decided after I ran the Brooklyn half, and I said, this is something that I really want to do.
The 2020 New York City Marathon was in his sights.
Then the pandemic, you know, hit us at that time, and I just continued to train.
He didn't train alone. Leroy Senior Center put him in touch with like-minded seniors who were all about getting fit.
New York Roadrunners Striders send a coach in to conduct the fitness sessions. We really work with them to identify their goals and get them to where they want to be, whether they're starting a fitness regimen or have one like Leroy does. This year we have 6 striders who are running the marathon, 4 of them for the very first time, including Leroy. We're really proud of him and all that he's accomplished.
Leroy has only built on his training and support in the year he's been waiting for the marathon to return.
I'm known as the runner, so everybody calls me, here goes the runner. Whether it's cold weather, warm weather, rainy weather, I'm out there doing it. My daughter has ordered about 50 t-shirts. People have donated.
And this year, for this 70-year-old, the only number that'll matter is 26.2.
Because you're old doesn't mean that you're cold.
Now, Leroy is my guy.
He's amazing. Amazing. Leroy, good luck tomorrow.
Good luck. And I got to tell you, his story may inspire some of you to want to get out there as well.
You know, there is a chance.
All right. If we're going to do it, we're going to start training right now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, for like 3 years from now.
Meanwhile, for those of you who are out there or have a loved one running tomorrow, the race's sponsor, TCS, has a new way to connect with your favorite runners. A special QR code takes the race to a whole new level.
The updated 2021 TCS New York City Marathon app allows you to track as many runners as you want, mile by mile, whether they're running the race in New York or doing a virtual run from anywhere in the world. Plus, you can hear what the runners hear along the course, like that cannon boom at the start of the race, cheering crowds, selfie frames, and you can even send runners digital cheer cards. There's also an interactive map showing the start village in Staten Island, points of interest along the way, starting times, and elevation changes. It is an easy way everyone can get involved in this year's marathon.
Well, now to a runner who is really getting involved tomorrow, and that is Tony Award winner Kelly O'Hara. She's going to sing the national anthem and then lace up her shoes to run. And her emotional journey to the starting line is about love, loss, and honoring a legacy.
They say the bluebird sings. I wrote this song shortly after my mother-in-law, Pam, had died from pancreatic cancer. I sing too, and it's for you.
I'm running for a hero of mine, for my kids, my mother-in-law. I'm Kelly O'Hara. I'm a Tony-winning performer on Broadway, and I am singing the national anthem at this year's New York City Marathon. I grew up in a very small town in western Oklahoma. Broadway had been a dream since I was a kid. I started running by myself on the farm. That was me, dreaming in those runs. And the rest is sort of history. Came to New York. One of the first shows I ever saw, and I saw it 8 times, was Ragtime.
Things will never be the same.
There was this woman up there, Marin Maisie, embodying a type of singing that I had done that wasn't necessarily popular. And I thought, maybe I could make it on Broadway. Getting to know her and call her friend. She was a ballsy, brassy, beautiful, kind, earthy woman. Marin passed away, unfortunately, of cancer. She faced cancer with the most brave spirit I've ever seen. To lose her was, it was a life wake-up call that this is a fleeting thing, this thing called life.
This is fun. Sort of.
The New York City Marathon. It would be a bucket list thing for me. It would be a dream. Recently, the pandemic gave me more time to run, and then Cancer Support Community called me. Would you like to run the marathon for us? This organization is so special that I said, I'm your girl. I got a phone call, would you like to sing the national anthem? And I thought, why not? It feels like 2 things coming together, kicking it off with music, but then getting on the road myself. I have this painting of Marin ready to enter stage. She's been with me as an inspiration, as an influence. I hate that we've lost Marin, but if we can do things to continue her legacy, then that's what this will be about.
An angel's watching over you. She promised me she'd be.
We all have lost people to cancer. I just want to encourage people to make a donation. I hope when people see someone putting their mind to something, it shows us what the human spirit is about.
I sing too because of you.
Such a beautiful story.
Truly. And up next, a star from The Bachelor and his journey from the dance floor to the world's largest marathon. Well, we come right back. Well, you have seen him right here on ABC7 as the first Black Bachelor, and this season on Dancing with the Stars. And on race day, you might spot Matt James out on the course.
And we talked with him about why running means so much to him and why he decided now is the time to run his first New York City Marathon.
Running has always just been really therapeutic for me, and being cooped up in the house with everybody for these past really 2 years now, everyone's excited about getting back out, and this was one of the big events of the year, and I wanted to be a part of it. The energy you get when you're around that crowd and you've got all these people who are here cheering on their loved ones, their friends, family, it's infectious.
While Matt James has always been active, his months leading up to this race have not been the typical way to prepare for a marathon, as he focused on his performances for Dancing with the Stars.
My training has been different than everyone else's training. I've done a lot of mental running, you know. I've visualized myself running. I've tried to preserve my joints, my knees, my ligaments.
When he is in the club.
Dancing has helped because I'm on my feet for 4 hours a day. You know, the training is intense, and Lindsay kicks my butt every time we're in the studio, so I feel like after a session of dancing, after a rehearsal, after a practice, I equate that to a long run because it's time on my feet.
When James is not pounding the pavement or hitting the dance floor, he's busy with a charity he started with good friend Tyler Cameron called ABC Food Tours. It was designed as a project to help school kids who don't know where their next meal will come from.
We've completely pivoted since everything that's happened with COVID. A lot of the focus has shifted to financial literacy as well as hydroponic farming.
Beyond the marathon, James is looking ahead to becoming an author and telling his own story.
I have a book coming out. I wanted to put context to who I am. I feel like a lot of people think they know who I am, but this book gives me a chance to dive into my life, my experiences, and what I've been through. That's probably what I've enjoyed most about being on Dance with the Stars. I'm a very joyful, energetic, enthusiastic person, so being able to see that in me and come out with my partner and through these dances has been a highlight of being, back on TV.
Matt James is not standing still as he takes on more projects, always moving toward a new finish line.
I'm working and I'm mentally focused on my goal, just like I'm going to be doing during the marathon.
And we wish Matt the very best of luck tomorrow.
We certainly do. And this is quite the marathon for anyone to run, the 50th running of an exciting race filled with so much history.
In fact, there's a special book list, I have it right here, that covers every detail of the marathon through the years with pictures and personal stories. It's a pretty cool book, things you won't see anywhere else.
Yeah, it's called New York City Marathon, 50 Years Running. It is available now, and really, what a really cool way to remember this year and the celebration.
It sure is. Now looking ahead to tomorrow, let's check in with ABC 7 meteorologist Brittany Bell for a quick look at tomorrow's race day forecast.
Hey guys, it's going to be chilly for the first wave of runners. By 8 o'clock, temperatures near 42 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Clouds increasing by 10, 45 degrees. We'll also pick up a northeasterly breeze as high as 10 to 15 miles per hour. 49 by noon. Have a great race and good luck.
All right, Brittany, thank you very much. And a reminder for all of us, before you go to bed, make sure to turn your clocks back 1 hour. That means 1 extra hour of sleep.
That is my favorite part.
Yes, and our marathon coverage begins live at 7 a.m. right here on Channel 7 and streams at abc7ny.com and on our connected TV apps.
And you can follow us at ABC7NY on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok. Just make sure to use the hashtag ABC7NY to share your pictures from the marathon.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We are looking forward to a great race.
Good luck to all the runners and have a great night, everyone.